The UFL Gambling Podcast Week 4 preview and picks and DFS episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick-up for a chance to win 100 times the amount of money you can enter in UFL. Yes, UFL action or NBA or MLB or MMA, NHL, golf, and much, much more. Sign up today at Underdog Fantasy using the promo code TCESGPN. You get a 100% deposit match. Plus, the NFL draft is coming up, and the Old Fashioned Football Podcast is giving away some autographed NFL merch. Was it OJ Simpson's merch? Who knows? Well, we'll find out. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/off contest. That's OFF contest to enter today. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Football is a unique American experience. A game described by one turn-of-the-century critic as crude and barbaric, with little chance of survival. But survive it did.
I don't give a damn who you are. This America, Jack. You know how to play winning high-dose football? Well, I don't get it. Inside the United States Football League. Touchdown! Oh my God! Quarterback is toast. We sometimes forget that football being the consummate team sport is a great deal more successful when you do play as a unit and don't rely on individual talent. Frankly, I'm impressed with the USFL. America, this league is good for America, and football is a sport that is made for television. It's football. Unlike string football is going to work in America. You play to win the game. And now it is time for our USFL report.
Well, now it is time for the UFL report. A little fixing up there.
That was something right there.
Hey, it's what we do.
I love it.
It's what we do. YouTube.com/the college / at XFL at UFL Gambling Pod. We are here. Week 4 preview and picks are off and rolling. Sorry, I'm having fun with how many different names we've had over the years, podcast wise. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
It's like I'm hit by lightning because I'm giving out fucking winners left and right. Cash 38 American on my DFS lineup last week. You add that to the $15.50 I made the week before. Kicking ass in life. I am joined by my co-host. He will be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. God willing, this weekend. Yes. Go out and check him. Once again, the name of the club that I can never remember.
Laughing Tap. Get yourself out there as the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. You've also heard him on the College Football Experience and this very show. Give it up for. They call him the man in the box, aka the bet detective, CJ Sullivan. How you doing, buddy? Great. Another week here. Beautiful UFL. Week 4 is just a halfway point. It's 10 weeks, right? 8 teams, 10 games. Now we get to the nitty gritty. Now we get the other affiliate networks. You get different times. You have regional coverage, as you were getting excited about, and of course, I know we're going to dive into. I'd say about 90% of the show is going to be attacking the Reddit thread, but I'm excited.
Let's get it. Fuck these Reddit guys. Let's get a UFL to go.
I'm always afraid to say mid-season after the history of the AAF and the XFL 2.0.
Pull the plug, right?
Yeah,
this could be the last week. Who knows?
I think we're okay, but I don't know. When you go to regional coverage, I hadn't heard the term regional coverage since the 90s. So a bit paranoid. I don't know what they're trying to do here, but we're also joined by third man in the booth. I'm curious which region he'll get, which game will be on for him. He's the host of the Old Fashioned Football Podcast. Give it up for Justin Mark, aka J Mark. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Looks like I'm going to have the Panthers game, but at 10 o'clock at night, I can go on over to FS1 and watch the replay of the Stallions game. So at least I can get eyes on it, I guess. I don't understand this.
You know what you can do at 10 o'clock at night too? You can get the replay of the 84 Super Bowl if you wanted to on YouTube. Let me tell you, there's this thing called youtube.com. You can really watch any game that's, I watched a Army Navy game from 1947 over the summer. So, I mean, just telling you at 10 o'clock, you got options. Right?
Fair enough. I did just watch the 06 Bears Cardinals game with they were who we thought they were. That was running on the replays. Hell of a game as a Bears fan to rewatch.
That was horrible because I had money on the Cardinals.
I remember I had money line on Arizona. I was in Chicago when it happened.
Yeah, and, I can remember that. It's like a Vietnam flashback for me. I'm just like, although Peanut Tillman was always one of my favorite players. So
Tillman was amazing, Urlacher, and just don't kick it to Hester. That's all you have to do. They can't turn the ball.
You want to crown him, you crown him. Folks.
R.I.P. the great Denny Green.
Yeah, love Denny Green. Bet Detective seems very upset. He's low key today, man. What's going on, buddy? You just you're bracing up for this travel?
Yeah, I am going on a long travel. And I'm like, speaking of Chicago, after Milwaukee, I will be in Chicago. You can catch me there and be there right before the draft. And then always love going back to Chicago. And then just found out I'm adding on to that from there to beautiful summertime. Speaking of watching a 1947 Army Navy game in the summer, which sounds like an amazing fun. I imagine you're wearing boots, boxer shorts, wife beater, drinking a fucking tall boy of Shaler's or something. After that, I'm going to Winnipeg, Canada, Manitoba.
Oh, get on over there. Subscribe to the CFL Gambling Podcast.
It's a great city, great drunks up there from Manitoba and Winnipeg. I like Winnipeg because Winnipeg's a city that even Canadians make fun of, because they don't have oil, they don't have culture, they don't have anything. Like, I just got Winnipeg. They just got fentanyl and fucking.
They got the Blue Bombers, and the Blue Bombers they are the Packers of the CFL.
Yeah. No, they're great. They're enthusiastic. That's for sure.
I've been to Winnipeg too. I got completely shit faced.
That's all there is to do up there.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. But no, I'm in a great mood. Let's do it. What are you talking about?
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look. Maybe it's just me, but.
Well, I don't get.
Let's get into it. Look, before I jump into it, I want to tell people that. You're listening to the UFL Gambling Podcast, but you should be checking out the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Yes, the puck drops on the Stanley Cup playoffs this weekend as the Hockey Gambling Podcast guys have you covered. Talon, Ryan, and Joel are breaking down every series leading up to Saturday's opening games, and we'll keep the picks and laughs coming all postseason long. I like to say that they're going to slap off. All right. That's what's going to happen when the playoffs go. We're going to slap off. Subscribe to the Hockey Gambling Podcast and slap off wherever you want. Check it out.
Go Winnipeg Jets.
How has there never been a slap off? Like, how does no one ever say slap off in hockey?
Slap off?
Yeah.
Slap on, slap off. I like that. That's pretty good.
I'm saying. Slap off, slap shots, When
the line is even in a game, I like to say it's a puck 'em,
I like that. Puck 'em. That's what I'm saying. We got you covered. Subscribe to the Hockey Gambling Podcast. They got you covered with even more. And let's jump into this action because, for some reason we have 3 Saturday games. And as we were alluding to,
they decided to play 2 at the exact same time. I don't understand this. So wait, let me get this straight.
But they're prime time Saturday night games.
But you have ESPN, you have ESPN2, you have ESPNU, you have ESPN News, ESPN3. You also have ABC. You also have Fox and FS1 and FS2. But we're going to play 2 games at the exact same time. And you're kind of asked out. Look, I know all about the regional struggles. I am a college football fan through and through. And I grew up in Washington, D.C., where I'd get stuck with fucking Maryland, Wake Forest over Michigan, Ohio State, or Texas, Oklahoma. The struggle is real for when you have regional TV, essentially, especially with sports. What the fuck are they doing here, guys? I know we're going to get into each game, but does this make any sense to you, CJ?
So they're not on separate networks? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, they're both on Fox.
They're both on Fox.
Yes.
At the night game. Oh, the day game's on ABC. That's what it is.
Now, luckily, I have a hack for all of that, but I'm saying your average person, if you're trying to capitalize, if you're trying to make the league a little more popular, why not play it at a different time? You have the whole weekend.
Well, it's it's a Saturday night situation. I mean, most people now can watch more than one thing at the same time, usually.
No, but you can't unless you have something like. My point is if you're using just YouTube TV, you're only getting one. We have the essentially listen,
people that are focusing on the regional Fox coverage. They're not worrying about watching 2 games at the same time anyway. They're lucky they have one TV. It's one of those old baby killers that weigh 5,000 pounds. That are this fucking thick. That tilt off a 19-inch Panasonic, might be a TV VCR combo.
Zenith.
Yeah, nice Zenith.
No, but I think like J-Mark, would you have access to watching both games?
No, I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless I get some sort of VPN, but I don't have that either. I don't want to defend the UFL, especially #UFL Jeff sucks. But the only thing I can think of is maybe this is a slight test to see which region's getting more viewership so that they can maybe expand teams in those regions. But just doesn't seem like, do a fucking survey or something. Like, you're bragging that viewership is up 45% from the USFL and XFL leagues last year. Why are you making it harder to watch? Why are you bragging about your viewership up and then making it harder? I don't get that.
And I'm currently looking at what they're putting on FS1 at that exact time. It is the WSOB XV PBA World Championship Bowling Semifinals from Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan.
Well, there you go. You just answered your own question. That's exactly why it's not on at different times, because at different networks, because they can't compete with that.
CJ, you ever done stand up in a bowling alley? It's one of the most ridiculous experiences of my life.
I've done a New Year's Eve show at a bowling alley. It was a fucking nightmare.
I did it somewhere in Southern Virginia. And I just remember trying to deliver your punchline. It's just like someone bowls a strike. You're just like, anyone catch that?
Yeah. It's something that could be more exciting than a strike. That's for sure.
But you couldn't put it on that.
What do you think will get more ratings in the region? That is a fun experiment. The Michigan Panthers Brahmas game or the Michigan bowling that's going to happen there on FS1.
Can you bet on the bowling? I mean, that's the key, right?
Let's take a look. Is that lady bowling you said?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think it doesn't specify, but I know Thunderbowl. Normally when you have an event at Thunderbowl Lanes.
Yeah.
I mean, good God, watch out world. Allen Park, Michigan. Look, I mean, we know, and how about like ESPN2 is doing the TCU baseball game, like college baseball. I subscribe to the college baseball experience, which I host. They don't pull numbers as good as the UFL or the XFL or the USFL or even the CFL when they were on ESPN. So I don't understand how it's got to be what J Mark's talking about, or just maybe someone forgot to turn in the TPS reports and figure out that. We have why? I just don't understand. Like, you have 6 fucking networks you can choose from.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
what do they say about it on Reddit, J Mark? What's the controversy over there? Are they for it? Are they against this? They, I know they're against us, but are they for the multiple games at the same time?
The only thing I saw about this is everybody said it must be a mistake, must be an error on my programming. It's not. But that's what they say about our power rankings too. These must be a mistake.
That's true.
That's not your real power rankings.
Yeah.
You guys aren't watching football.
I love the guy goes, you come here and post your opinions. We don't need your opinions on our Reddit. And I'm like, isn't that the point of fucking Reddit?
Right.
To voice your opinion?
Paragraphs in response.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. These spring football nerds, you know what I mean, coming for us. All right, let's get into it. Showboats, Battlehawks. This is the first game. This one is all alone. 9:30 a.m. It's on Fox 2, J Mark, right?
I think
this one's on ABC. This one's on ABC.
Okay,
I believe. Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited about this. You got the Showboats fresh off a royal ass whooping. They're catching 7. And by the way, that 7 is plus 100. All right, over at DK right now. They total is at 45.5. If you think the Showboats can give them a game, the money line is sitting there at plus 280. The Battlehawks are minus 355 on the money line. I'll take the Showboats plus 7 all day here. I just think like St. Louis everyone thinks they're the fucking, they figured it all out. I think Memphis is a more physical football team than St. Louis. I know they got this bullshit Battle Dome thing going on where they're going to say it's a sellout and the whole top deck will be, empty. But no, I honestly think like Memphis can give them a game. I like 7 points a lot in these leagues. Yeah. And I'm not ready to say like, I do believe Memphis is going to be the more physical team. That doesn't mean that they're like St. Louis skill position players are really talented. So they could still win this game, but 7 points is way too much. I do lean on the over 45.5 here. And to me, it's worth a little sprinkle of Memphis plus 280. J Mark, what are you doing here?
Cookus got banged up quite a bit last week. I don't know if he's going to be healthy. I think he'll play, but I think his mobility is limited. He seemed to bang up that knee that he injured before. I got to take the Battlehawks. I think they did unlock the offense a little bit more. They looked a little bit more like themselves from what we saw last year. Ja'Cory Pearson should be in this game, and the defense actually tightened up some. Was not great, but it tightened up some. So I'm taking the Battlehawks here. I think they're starting to right the ship. No pun intended, since they're playing the Showboats.
Detective.
No.
What do you? I mean, hold on. What do you think on that total, J Mark?
I do like the over.
Okay. Bet Detective. What are you doing here?
I was going to say no pun taken there, J Mark, with the ships and Showboats. But anyway, you do know me. I've been down on this Memphis Showboat team all year. I've been ranking them low. I've been laughed at. I've been mocked at, spit upon by my own co-hosts. And I'm even high on J Mark's Battlehawks. I've had them steady at number 2. I'm a believer in them. And they are at the home. I'm not a believer, of course, in Tony Meatballs. I do believe Cook is banged up a bit. I do think a lot of it, though, is a overreaction to what you saw against the best team in the league. St. Louis, I thought they're going to have that explosion versus Arlington a couple weeks ago. They were lucky to get out of there alive with a 3-point win. 7 is way too many points. I'm seeing 6.5. I'd even take that. I'd take it down, whatever the number is, just because I do believe Memphis will be a desperate team, battling hard. I just don't. They're not a team that's easily going to get blown out back to back just because Birmingham did it last week. I'll take the points with Memphis, and I'll lean under 46 as well. I think all these overs are also juiced up because of last week, because the overs went 4-0 after all the unders were crushing, and then the overs cleared pretty easily last week. So now we're seeing bumps of 3, 4, 5 points a game that we wouldn't have seen. Like, you tell me if this game was last week before those overs hit, this total would be 46? Absolutely not.
I see 45.5 to be fair.
Either
DK,
way.
but yeah.
Either way, this would have been 42 tops before last week's point explosion all across. So give me Memphis plus the 7. Give me under 45.5. I mean, I think you're getting over 3 points of value on both sides of that because of the reaction of last week.
I tend to agree, but just not with this game. This game, I think, I think is gonna be a little more scoring. I don't trust the Battlehawks defense.
No, I don't either.
So I think that
still 46. You're looking at NFL numbers now, for crying out loud. These are high. That's a high number.
True. All right, let's bounce over to one of the regional games. This line shot up overnight. I did a UFL show last night with the Sports Gambling Podcast. Go check out that episode. Very fun. Hashtag UFL Jeff sucks. And the Defenders are now getting 9 in Birmingham at Penetrope Stadium. The over-under at 46.5. Defenders are plus 320. Your Defenders, CJ.
Yes.
You're gonna get you an apartment there in Arlington, just over the river. Yeah, minus 410 for Birmingham on the money line. There are reports that Adrian Martinez is not going to start. What? What's going on? He's had the best quarterback performance in the whole UFL history. You got to bench him? I'm wondering if he got dinged up, or I wonder if that's just bullshit, that report, because they're saying Matt Corral will be starting. Don't overthink it. Birmingham minus the points. When I think about DC's offensive line, which I think has looked shitty this year, against Birmingham's defensive line, which I think is the best defensive line I can ever recall in a spring league.
Yep.
I'll lay it. I think Birmingham's going to fuck them up. I do think the under is the play here, though, because I'd see this being a blowout. I think Birmingham will probably score like, I don't know, 30.
Yeah.
And DC will score about 10, 12. Birmingham might even have to get to 30, especially if they don't have Adrian Martinez. I don't think they're going to score in the 30s. So give me the under on 46.5. I feel pretty good about it. And I'll lay the 9 with these Stallions. What are you doing here?
I like, am I skipping a rotation here? Am I jumping in?
No, jump in. Talk about it. Talk about it.
I think this is way too many points. I mean, this is also an overreaction. I know you want to back Birmingham, and people are foolish. They went against them last week and watch them absolutely smack Memphis in the second half. But in this league, just the way the scoring rules is, you're never obviously going to be out of it getting 9. And DC. I thought they were struggling early on, and they have, but they are picking it up a little bit. They move the ball well. I don't know. Listen, and will it go to 10? I don't care. I'll take the 9. I know. I mean, everyone knows Birmingham is a wagon. They're the best team. I get it. Their defensive line is a force.
They covered the 9 in 2 of the 3 games.
Yeah, good for you. But you're playing DC here, who I think is at the worst, they're still a mid team that can put up points enough to stay within a number of 9. They're not a team. They're not Houston. They're not Memphis. They're not those teams. They will obviously they won with a history, even though Barlow is completely lost out there nowadays.
Yeah, have fun with that one.
I would sprinkle. I mean, Birmingham's not going to run at all. What's a little Memphis DC money line parlay looking at?
Stop it.
Just for my listeners.
Insulting me.
Lost money.
Yeah.
Well, it's also looking like 15 to 1. Cha-ching, that one.
The fuck is that? Shit.
I'm putting that out there. DC, Memphis, money line parlay, 15 to 1. Why not sprinkle it? Give me one good reason why not to sprinkle that. In this league, whatever your argument is, my answer is UFL. You've seen what's happened the last 2 games. It doesn't matter if they're down 24 with a minute to go. This league will find a way to get you in the winner's circle.
Well, in this league, the Stallions have never lost a fucking game. So I would say that's the problem. But but I understand your point. There's a lot of cockanimi bullshit going on in this league where, 4th and 12 has teams that have no business winning games. It's just not going to be. It's just not going to be Birmingham. I just think they're going to fuck up that offensive line.
Yeah.
Now the Memphis one, I'm on board. That could happen. Okay. J-Mark, what are you doing here at Penetrope Stadium?
Also, just to correct kind of our recap, we said why not go for it all the time with the 4th and 12. You can only go for it in the 4th when you're behind. So if a team's ahead, they can't just go for it.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
Even stupider to me.
I know, right? It should be one way
now
or none.
This is even dumber to me.
Yeah.
You should, if you're going to do it, you should allow it all game.
Agreed. And
isn't that an acknowledgement that it's easy to do?
Yeah.
Like saying that, like, well, we can't let you do it all the time or you'll always get the ball back. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm all over the Stallions here. I know when I put the lines in, it was 8. I'll take him at 9 too, north of 10. This team is they're on a different level than everybody else. I think Tamu is unfortunately he's going to have a hard time. They're going to be in that backfield all the time, pressuring him. And he's a guy that he tends to make some mistakes when he's pressured. He can run, but I worry about him getting banged up doing that. This is just a really good defense. And I don't know why they would be starting Corral, but I think that only hurts DFS. It doesn't hurt the team. It only hurts us trying to make our DFS lineups because whether it's Corral, Martinez, J-Mart, they run very fluidly, no matter who it is. So, I'm all over the Stallions here.
I think even if Corral starts, you'll see Martinez or at least Jamar Smith because they like to switch it up. I think that's part of the genius of him in the spring league is you can't just prep for a throwback, drop back passing quarterback. You have to prep for both.
Sure.
But how do we feel about the total, guys? I love the under. I already bet the under. J-Mark?
That's tough because I could see the Stallions putting up 40. I'm going to take the over. I'll go out and on a limb and say the over.
Woo.
I think Stallions put up a ton of points and defenders get some.
CJ, what do you think on that total?
That's a large number again. But this one I'm kind of with J-Mark. I kind of like the over. I think DC's that's going to be their strategy to try to keep up with them and try to score with them. And, especially if they do play Corral. I can see them playing Corral. It's another league situation. Like he didn't come here to ride the bench, to Adrian Martinez.
Well, if Corral plays, then you got to love the under because I feel like Martinez strikes more fear in the defense. We clearly saw that last week with him killing it. And what was his percentage? It was something insane. I think the dual threat. Now maybe they play both, but I think the capability to run it on the ground is what makes, especially in a league like this. You saw it with EJ Perry last week. Your boy, Bet Detective.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm on the under. I bet the under already. So fuck you guys. And all right, look, we're gonna get.
I'll just say DC has never been this large of an underdog in their history of their franchise. So it is a little odd in settling back. I mean,
the other teams were good. This team is bullshit. They're throwing out bullshit. I'm
just saying.
All right, folks. Before we get to the other regional game, I want to tell you that the UFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, the NBA playoffs are here, and our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, wants to make it a lot more interesting. And by the way, Underdog Fantasy does have UFL action every Friday. They'll drop stuff. So jump on in. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like points, rebounds, assists, and much, much more. And you can make entries of all basketball, or you can mix I love this. You can mix and match across other sports. So maybe you do like Ja'Cour Pearson to catch, more than whatever yards. And at the same time, you want to get some action on, LeBron James. That's what's great. You can mix all over that. You can win up to 100 times the amount of money you enter. Underdog's available in 30 different states, including California, Texas, and even the great country of Canada. So get up there and spread the word, Bet Detective. Make sure you sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code TCE SGPN. All right, we are back. David's already talking shit about Jeff, as he should. He's an ASU grad. He says that's what they do. David's a Wildcat, in case you were wondering.
I see. I picked up what he was throwing down there.
Shout out to the rest of the chat. Once again, youtube.com at UFL Gambling Pod. I barely am able to complete that sentence. YouTube.com / at UFL Gambling Pod. I got it. Shout out to FBI Tugboat in the chat. Love to have the feds. When are they going to bring back the Washington Feds? All right. That's what they need to do. Next up, Michigan Panthers, same time as the DC Birmingham game. Michigan heading to the filthy Alamo Dome. Take on the San Antonio Brahmas. Michigan's laying 1.5 currently. Over under set at 41.5.
Oh, sorry. That was for the feds.
Michigan's minus 122. The Brahmas are plus 102. Get this Brahma bullshit out of here. All right.
This is what gets everyone fired up on the Reddit. The Brahmas. The Brahmas is the most polarizing team on the online community here, the UFL.
The 50-yard pass to the center.
Yeah.
Who else is doing that?
I know.
No, Michigan's a way better team. They're a way more physical team. Guess what? The Brahmas are a little cha-cha-cha. All right. That cha-cha-cha shit's not going to work. And I love the fact it's at the Alamo Dome, because that means the Panthers kicker, Bates, what's his name? Bates, right?
Bates. Yep.
Yeah.
Jake Bates.
He's going to be nailing those fucking 65-yarders. This is a smash play. I don't buy into this Brahmas shit. You know what I mean? I think they're a gimmick team, and it ain't going to work against that elite defense and elite special teams. And EJ Perry's coming along. No matter what. Look, I know J Mark has his most hated quarterbacks, and now we know the bet detective hates EJ Perry.
Yep.
Panthers are getting it done. I will also wait. What was the total again on this one? 41.5. I'll go over on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of like the over too on this one. But this is it. Smash play. I feel like you're going to lock this one up.
Smashed. What are you doing here, bet detective?
Well, I'm going to quote the great Picks Dundee.
No.
When I say, I'm not an EJ Perry fan. And I think all those stats were, I'm joking a little bit, but I feel like a little bit was ridiculous last week. All you have to do is spy him. Don't let him throw the ball over 5 yards. And I think we got a lucky break. I think San Antonio got lucky, and I don't like San Antonio. But with Chase Garbers, is he out for the year there, J Mark, with that injury? Yeah. He's out for the year. Good riddance. How are we disrespecting Normandy, Quentin Normandy? He is exactly what AJ Smith's offense needs. Big playability, throws it deep. Now he might have 6 touchdowns one game. He might throw for 35 yards the next. But when he does come in, now granted, this isn't the best scenario to come in versus Michigan's defense, but it is at home. I mean, when he does come on early on, they don't know what to deal with him. It takes a couple of games to get used to him. So give me Quentin Normandy and AJ Smith's offense to beat this. It's a perfect letdown spot for Michigan. Michigan will never look that good of what he did last week. And
the second best team in the league, buddy. All right,
not in my power rankings, Reddit. So I think I have him third. But anyway, I'm going against a lot of my beliefs in here. I'm going against, I'm for Memphis, going against St. Louis. I'm going against Birmingham, and I'm going against Michigan. I like San Antonio to win here. Out of respect for Dormady last year, and then he almost brought us home that Orlando 100-1 shot. Yeah, I think I just think he fits into AJ Smith's offense better as far as pushing it downfield and making these big play opportunities. So I like the over 41.5, and I like San Antonio, and I think this Michigan team, they're going to come crashing back down to earth. But remember what we talked about Michigan before? I know things change, obviously, especially when you watch the games. But Michigan was not supposed to be, thought of being one of the top upper echelon teams by far, if anything, even a good team. They were a good defense. You compare them to the Jets of Rex Ryan's days, and it's going to win 16-13. They're going to be something like grinded out. But all of a sudden, we're going to take EJ Perry's explosion because he throw a 5-yard hitch and the guy breaks 7 tackles for a 70-yard touchdown, and he's quarterback powers and all these things. I like the spot at night. Give me Stormy Normandy at night.
I mean, San Antonio's defense against a QB power. They don't want that smoke. they don't want that smoke. J Mark, what are you doing here?
We'll take Brown University smoke. Is that where EJ Perry went? Brown,
yes.
Yeah. We'll take that smoke.
FBI tugboat of the Panthers podcast saying Sims might not play, but also said smash. I got to take the Panthers here. I know Dormady had some good games last year, but this defense is too good. He had some. That's why he didn't win us that 100-1 because he had some good games and he had some bad ones. I also find it interesting that the social medias are getting all excited that the Brahmas signed Morgan Ellison, the Sea Dragon from last year. They already have a running back they don't really use, so I don't get why that's all exciting.
And he missed practice, by the way. Anthony McFarland missed practice.
Yeah. So Ellison might be the guy, but I'm all over the Panthers here, and I like the under. I think it's going to be a low scoring, grinded out, and they're going to win by 3, win by a field goal. That's all they need.
I think the over, because I don't think the Brahmas defense can stop them. I think the Panthers will be able to put up a solid 26, 27, something like that. All right.
You're picking and choosing the comments here. How about this comment right here? Come on now. let's let the people speak there, Dundee.
That's not me. That's J Mark on the comments.
That's J Mark. Sorry. Anyway, there's some intelligent comments if you want to focus on them.
He says Damas says Quentin Dormady equals Andrew Luck in both looks and talent. Is that regarding backpacking?
The Civil War leader.
Dude, your reception coming in right now is outstanding, by the way. Bet Detective. I
was worried it was mine. He's all fuzzy, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
What's going on? The image of me?
Yeah.
Bad?
You gotta stop the drive on that computer, I think, buddy. Anyway, next up.
How about this? All right. Is that better?
By the way, I mean, so wait, you like the over, CJ, or the under on that?
I went over because of Dormady, and even though I would like to fade Perry, but like as you said, their defense is not as good. Is my reception better? By the way, I'm looking at myself right now.
No, you look like you're in a cave in Afghanistan right now.
I look worse.
All right, like this is like one of the tapes Bin Laden. Like we would find out, and it's like Bin Laden fucking recruiting people.
And I'm the one in studio. You guys are calling for your fucking huts. Who knows?
Anyway, next up we got Arlington, the Renegades heading. This is on Sunday. We got only one fucking game on Sunday. Right. And it's the Battle of Texas. Little Texas two-step here. Arlington, the Renegades heading down to the Rice Bowl. No, that's not me. It's some slander. It's literally called the Rice Bowl. And the home of the Rice Owls. Arlington's laying 3. The over-under's at 46.5. Roughnecks are plus 130 on that money line. Arlington's minus 155. Get this, the Roughnecks. They're not gonna play Reed Sinnett much. They said they're gonna work in. I almost said Nolan Richardson. That's the Arkansas coach. Nolan Henderson, the former Delaware quarterback.
They might as well play Nolan Richardson.
They're going to get fucked up, man. This is right now. Let's talk about this.
This real quick. This is a huge game for the show here, the UFL Gambling Podcast show. I mean, our reputations are on the Reddit line with this one. I'm going to go ahead and assume we're all taking Arlington minus a short number on this.
Oh, plus not only that, I've loaded up with that plus 2,200.
Yeah,
future.
Yeah,
See,
absolutely.
yeah.
We gave that out. We like that. We love them as a future. I mean, they're 0-3. We all had them ranked fourth in our power rankings, and we're getting drugged for it, if you will. Rightfully so, I get it, if you go by records. Not rightfully so if you actually think about it. But if they drop this one to Houston, then they might have a point.
Yeah, I mean, if they're if you watch the games, I mean, they have the passing leader in the Luis Perez taught himself how to pass on YouTube, right? They got honestly, they probably should be 2-1 if they had a drop touchdown that in the Battle Dome or whatever. They're the number 1 passing team in the league. They're the number 1 team on third downs, and they're winless. This is hilarious. Anyway, yeah, Renegades -3 all day. I also, what's that? What's the total again on this? Is 46.5.
46.5. Large.
I'll go under on this one. I'll go under.
The only reason why I'd like overs, Arlington does have the worst defense in the league, I would say, statistically speaking, at least. And of course, we all know.
Isn't that because they played? Sure. Yeah, they played Birmingham and then at St. Louis.
Yeah, they've had a very tough schedule. We get it, but and they'll also put up points though. I mean, that's a high number as well. I'd lean under though, just because, like I said, I think all these numbers are juiced up because of last week. But Arlington is. I'll go ahead and forecast it as my smash lock. I mean, they have to win this. Our reputations are on the line. We can't get into the dark web subreddit threads again if Perez doesn't pull through. And I like how J Mark is going to have to rely on Luis Perez to save face with these trolls.
Yes, and Flame Wingman is right. Mark Thompson's back, but I don't think. You have to fear the pass a little bit, and I don't think anybody fears the pass. I think like Mark Thompson is a huge upgrade. He's a very good running back in the spring leagues, but I don't like the Houston offense, especially knowing I actually don't think Reed Sennett's been the problem, but our guy Curtis Johnson saying, you know what, we're gonna get him out of there. We're gonna bring in Nolan Henderson there. That's concerning. That's concerning to me because I don't think Sennett was the problem. But anyway. Something to monitor for the DFS. Mark Thompson is, I think, going to play this week. J Mark, what are you doing here at the Rice Bowl?
Yeah, I'm also on the Renegades. I went back and forth on the over under, but I do like the under. I think Roughnecks will have trouble scoring just because their pass game's terrible. Their run game has not been good either. Lowest in the league, 48.3 yards per game, but Arlington's run defense not very good. Now they did play some teams that do run the ball well. So I think Thompson could maybe get going DFS wise, but I don't think going enough for making a difference in this game. So Renegades by 3 easily.
Yeah. And let's just get to the lock dog right here. The lock and the dog before we go to DFS. But I think if you're looking at the easiest lock, I do think it's Arlington -3. I don't think there's any way they're going to lose this game. I think Houston's hard.
I mean, they have the better quarterback. They have the better skill position players. They have the better coach.
Everything.
You know, right. I will say Houston's offense did get going a little bit last week, and it was versus Michigan too, which obviously is a very stout defense. Their problem was their defense, which was good the first couple of weeks, fell apart. And you let EJ Perry all of a sudden run wild all over him.
I like this.
If they couldn't stop EJ Perry, what are they going to do versus Perez? A real offense coming to town.
I like this now because you have the hatred of Jordan Teamo and Luis Perez from J Mark. Now we got the hatred of EJ Perry, and you got Dundee over here just sitting back. I just hate the Domes. All right,
Dundee loves all players, hates all. all rules and structures.
Yeah, I mean, come on, 4th and 12. Let's get rid of this bullshit. And then look, the money line play is Memphis +280. That's the dog. Let's ride with those showboats. And the lock is Arlington -3. Same for you, Bet Detective.
I'm locking up Arlington -3. I even see 2.5 on Bet Online. As far as dogs, listen, I like the +280 there with Memphis. I like all, and I threw it out there. I want to stand behind it. Parlay that with DC Defenders 15.5 to 1. Cha-ching! Stallions got to lose one. You think? I guess they don't have to lose a game, but
in fact, they almost have it in their whole existence.
Remember how DC lost when they were undefeated last year, and they lost the one game to our man Stormy Normandy of Orlando, the worst team in the league for their first win. Just putting that out there.
Okay, I can't wait. The Texas guy's going to be sitting there and fucking. He's gonna be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, or something, or Kenosha, Wisconsin, or something. I'm gonna be
Oshkosh.
No, I mean, look, I will say this though, since you're out there throwing out parlays, I got one for the people. All right,
Okay.
we're gonna parlay Arlington -3. This is called the chalk parlay, right? Arlington, Michigan, and Birmingham minus the number. Don't get in on that Memphis St. Louis game because that's the one I feel least about. You know what I mean? That Battle Dome. You know, J Mark, what are you doing here?
Yeah, triple lock it. Renegades -3. That's my lock. I went all chalk this week apparently, and you stole my parlay for my dog. So thanks for that. Makes it look like I'm copying. I already had it written down. If that matters.
Sorry. I didn't know. We didn't talk about this pre-episode.
Plenty of room in that DC Defender money line if you want.
Learning computer.
I will drop off the Stallions one just in case something funky happens on a 4th and 12. I still think they cover and win, but let's just do Arlington -3, Michigan -1.5. It's 2.5 to 1. Small dog.
There we go. And look, DFS portion is next. EJ Perry's available. I know CJ Sullivan's saying.
They deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Let's get to it because we don't even have any ad to read right now.
Yeah, let's go. Let's fire through it.
I did turn in multiple DFS lineups, but I'm going to go with my most expensive one because, like I said, I'm feeling really good about life after making that $38 last week. CJ,
Yeah.
did you make some money last week on your DFS?
I did not. Terrible day to DFS. Yeah.
I'm going to die hard on this because when they announced Corral wasn't starting, I jumped on Adrian Martinez. I'm still rostering him because I don't believe that you can have the best passing day of the entire league.
You're so naive, Dundee. You're so naive where you think these stats matter when it comes to this league. It's what's in your contracts. It's what they're going to do to play someone. So I had like last year when they're trading people that were inactive just to help another team out. Matt Corral is going to play. If he says his agent made a call, he's going to play. They don't give a fuck about Adrian Martinez's prolific game last week against the Showboats. Are you crazy?
Well, then it's more proof that as much as we want this league to work, it's not gonna work. When you take the best player we just saw in the whole fucking league out of the whole week or the whole season, you're sitting there saying, hey, I'd like to see that. That guy was exciting. He just threw for over 300 yards and he rushed for a bunch. He's a very exciting quarterback. Oh, wait, he's not starting this week? Oh, that's terrible news for the fans of
Maybe
Birmingham.
Or they could be showcasing him for a nice trade option to San Antonio. You know?
That's true. For a backup linebacker?
Right.
The Rock's called
get themselves a backup linebacker, but they know they can win anytime they want, you know. They know it's a marathon. So yeah, they're showing them off.
Well, I'm still rostered. I'm dying hard like Bruce Willis here. Give me Martinez at 9,300 just because
hilarious.
He's fucking playing, man. Don't be the stupid Skip. And I know Skip. I know a lot of friends down there, Greenville, North Carolina, that know Skip. I'll put in a fucking phone call if I have to. All right. What are you doing here, Bet Detective?
For how much is Martinez? How much is your bench quarterback start crossing there?
9,300. And goddamn it, he's gonna win. All right.
I love it. That's hilarious. He is good. And goddamn, we want the ball. We're gonna win. You know where I'm going. I'm going all the way down for 6,000. Maybe the best deal out here. I've talked about him all episode. Normandy. Are you kidding me?
Oh boy.
6K and AJ Smith's offense. He's gonna light it up. This game's at night. Get on it. Get in on this Normandy. I'm not in on the Brahmas, but I am in on Normandy as always.
Sometimes maybe good. Sometimes maybe shit.
You got to cash in on the one or two games that he does do well, and then you got to pull the plug. Then you got to get out of there. This is it. This is his big game. I love him. For 6,000, then you can field anyone you want after that.
I'll say this, man. He is very cheap, but can we also talk about Perez being this cheap? He's the league leader in passing.
I mean, I definitely looked at Perez. He should be rostered, actually, if you're thinking with your head. But unfortunately, his name doesn't rhyme with Normandy, and so I could not get myself to get there. But yes, no, Luis Perez was definitely under consideration. I'll have a few lineups with him in there as well.
J Mark, who's your top quarterback? Martinez is available, just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have some lineups with Martinez in them.
There we go.
You can't help it. I mean, with how good he looked, how can you not? And I also, as soon as they said Garbers was out, I think I texted you guys and said, how do we not do a lineup with Dormady? At that time, he was only 4,000. So I have him in a lineup for 4,000, saving a lot of money.
Nice.
But I'm going to go with AJ McCarron here, back in the dome. I think he has a good game. I liked what I saw last week. He's expensive, 10,500, but I think he's going to be worth it. I know that Memphis defense has had some good spots, but I think this is a get up game and that they run the table. They're going to destroy Memphis. I know you guys disagree, but I think they're going to destroy them. I'm back on the Battle Hawk Nation.
Oh, what could go wrong? What? By the way, are you? What's your record going with your Battle Hawks? Is it winless? I think it's. I don't think you've picked the game correctly on the Battlehawks.
I saged my picks today. I got the sage out, so we're good, man. We're good.
Little Sage Rosenfalls over here. Sage.
My top running back. I finally. I don't know why I'm zigging here because I won cold hard cash the past 2 weeks, but. I'm only doing two running backs. My top priced running back is Ricky Person Jr. You know what I like about this though? They like to give him the carries more at the goal line than Marable. And that is stealing points from CJ's guy. You know what I mean? So give me Ricky Person Jr. 6,600, still undervalued. You know, they're going to score the most points. You know, they're going to be in position to score the most points. Give me Ricky Person Jr. at 6,600.
Yeah. That is my CJ's. You know I'm going with him. I go with him until further notice. He's at 9,200. I don't give a shit. I'm saving money with Dormady. There's the thing with this league. Backs like Durant, like for St. Louis, they have an amazing game. Like, then we're not going to play them next week. You know, they talk about zig and zag. Yeah, it's the fucking UFL that zigzags. So you get Pearson. Yeah, he had a nice touchdown last week. So I think CJ will bitch enough about. They will feed him again. He pissed in my face last week, but it wasn't his fault. They just didn't give him the touches. It wasn't even just that. And that game got out of hand so quickly. They didn't even have time to ice it out. So give me CJ's to bounce back until further notice. He's my Abram Smith this year.
J Mark, what are you doing? Your top price running back?
I went with Mark Thompson. I know their offensive line has not looked good, but if you watched him run last year, the past 2 years, he's a hell of a running back. And Arlington's run defense, not all that good. So I think he could come in. He can come in and kind of provide some spark to this team. It's not going to really matter as far as the score, but it could matter DFS wise. So yeah, I got Mark Thompson.
I love Mark Thompson, but I just don't think this offense is going to be able to move. I think they're going to load the box and make these shit quarterbacks try to beat them. But maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. Very rarely am I wrong, but No. My second running back. Look, I told you, San Antonio is a pussy team. They are the epitome. They should just play in the fucking Arena League. All right, that's the way they play fucking football. So Matt Colburn and his Michigan Panthers are gonna get going. 5,500 bargain shopping, and the whole San Antonio defense is gonna feel like this.
Yeah, he felt like shit afterwards.
Because they're gonna run all over them, whether it's EJ, whether it's Matt Colburn. This Brahma bullshit out of here. That detective, who's your second running back?
I got no more running backs. That's all I need is CJ. That's all. He's all the running back I need.
Right, give me your
the problem with the running backs is I like the running backs. Of course, it's just so hard to figure out if they're going to let him fucking run again, if they're going to feed him again. It's like they just.
I would argue because I went with the triple option the past 2 weeks and I made cold hard cash.
All right, with your cold hard cash, you're bragging about your 20. I'd like to know these entry buy-ins. By the way, you're coming in, yeah, I won $12. It was a fucking $200 entry, but hey, big $12. Anyway, like these
good
guys
round, you're celebrating with your appetite. Bad round, you're using your appetite to forget about the round. I'll tell you something about appetite. It's a real fucking great thing to have.
Get on over there. By the way, we invite you to come play DFS with us. Give us a follow on Twitter at UFL Gambling Pod. Who's your highest price wideout then, CJ?
Well, I'm gonna. I will go down to the flex there if you want to do that, and let's say we might as well hook up Stormity Dormady with Kirkland. He's there. He's at 10K, but I mean, Dormady. He's going to go deep. He's going to do deep shots with him, and I
got him too.
You gotta have him.
Yeah,
he's gonna have a monster game.
Yeah.
They're gonna. This is. I know both of you guys love Michigan in this game. Everyone does. I've been telling you, get on this Dormady.
Well, especially when they're down big, they'll throw to Kirkland a bunch. You know,
and he's going to air it out deep. Kirkland. I think Kirkland's going to have a big game.
J Mark, who's your second running back or your top price?
Yeah, I do have one more running back. I went with you with Person. You want to get parts of this Stallions offense, no matter where you can get it. I couldn't afford CJ Marable. I don't think you can go wrong with either of those running backs because they're the most efficient team in the league. So I put Person on there. He's still only 6,600.
Yeah, I feel personally attacked by both of you. With you guys, keep going with your Person, back-to-back weeks with your Persons, coming after me and CJ.
Yeah, and your DC defenders, you piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Well, that was a bit much.
My top price wide receiver. Well, no, I'm sorry, I have Kirkland. So, CJ, give me your second priced wide receiver.
Following J Mark's talk, I do think St. Louis will they're back in the dome, even though it's an early game. That's fine. They always put up points. I'll go with the old faithful Marcel Aitman. He's still 7,200, still pretty reasonably priced for a man who absolutely explodes.
You got all my wideouts. I think I went. He had a shitty game last week. Of course, I rostered him. I would have probably came in first place if this guy decided to play football. But
his home splits are better though too. All St. Louis's passing attacks home splits are much better.
Yeah, fair. So I got him rostered as well. J Mark, do you have Marcel Aitman on your team?
I don't. Rumor is he pointed at McCarron's kid while he was picking his nose and eating it, and so McCarron didn't want to throw it to him. I'm just kidding. I couldn't afford him because I got McCarron. So I guess my top wideout is Deion Kane. He's been one of the best wideouts. He's 6,900.
I got him. You guys are giving out my whole roster. I
also have him. Play that music. How can you not do Deion Kane? I've been calling this since the off season.
Yeah.
Okay. All I have left is the defense now. You guys just went through my whole roster. So whatever you guys have, say it.
I got one more player, right? I think.
Who do you got left?
You got one, and I have two, I believe.
Oh, okay. I got one Davis again, back to an old faithful from Memphis, just because of St. Louis will put up a lot of points. I do think there'll be a lot of points. Of course, I mean, obviously the total is 46. So DeAndre Davis for Memphis, he's reasonably priced as well. What's he at? 67,000, I believe, for their number one. He averages about 12 fantasy points a game for them. He's been doing great. He's that's about it. We're spreading it wide.
All right, David Davis and J Mark. Who is your final guys? Both.
Yeah, I got two left here, so I'll give them both out, and they're both on Arlington. I got Tyler Vaughns. He had 13 targets last week. Luis Perez apparently loves this guy, and then it's hard not to get Sal Cannella too. I do think they're gonna have an easy game against the Roughnecks, so I got both of them in the lineup.
All right, there we go. I like that.
I like that a lot.
I like that because I think there's value. I do have another roster with Perez. So I think
Vaughn was a target monster last week.
Yeah,
for sure.
Now the defense to me, give me the Renegades plus 3,600. I think Houston's offense Curtis Johnson doesn't know what he's doing. 6 + 6 is 12. You're down 13 or you're down 14. Now they're switching the quarterback. They're going to a third different quarterback. I'm sorry. This offense is going to sputter. This is a good buy spot for this Renegades defense that has played a bunch of good teams. They're probably better as a defense than we think. And that's why they take care of business there at 3,600. And shout out to Sam Pierce in the chat also, who keeps asking about Letty Brown. I mean, Letty Brown's a solid player. I liked him when he was at West Virginia, but I just didn't. They don't commit to the run enough. Those teams don't commit to the run enough. I like that's part of the beauty of like a couple of the teams in the league is I feel like you can trust them to run the ball a little bit more. But no, I'm on the Renegades defense at 3,600. CJ, what are you doing defensively?
Same thing. Cheapest defense out there against Houston. It was a no-brainer, to be honest with you. Even though, like you said, statistically worst defense out there, but a lot of it has to do with the competition. So I'm not afraid of anything Houston has to offer. So,
yeah, J-Mark.
Exact opposite. I went for the most expensive defense. Give me the Stallions. It's 5,000, but just the way this DC Defenders offensive line has been, I think there's going to be some turnovers, potentially some pick sixes. So yeah, I'm all over the Stallions.
My other lineup, I did that but like I think it's one or the other. I think it's one or the other that you want to play. Because we know EJ Perry is going to light it up. So, folks, that's our show. Go check the Bet Detective at the Laughing Tap in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
That's right.
All right. He's also going to be in Chicago. Where are you at in Chicago, buddy?
Chicago, Monday night, Lincoln Lodge. Wednesday night, the Comedy Bar. But Monday night, come on out. CJ and friends. A lot of degenerate friends who do not have any social media footprints. So I can't even tag them.
There you go.
It's kind of scumbags they are.
There you go. Play a little Lincoln Logs. I like that. I see what they're doing there. And then
absolutely.
Get yourself up to Manitoba, to Winnipeg.
All right.
Check out the Bet Detective as well. God damn, he's like the fucking Stones in 71 bouncing around the goddamn globe. All right. Give J Mark a follow and look, Old Fashioned Football Podcast. I was just a guest, and we have a bunch of NFL draft stuff going on over there. So check out the Old Fashioned Football Podcast. Give J Mark a follow on Twitter at JMarkFootball. CJ Sullivan is on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. Check out the college football experience. And by the way, CJ also hosts the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. Check that out as well.
Yes.
And shout out to Charles, says, love this show. Appreciate you, Charles. And we don't want to forget also, like, check out the college football experience, the FCS college football experience, the sports gambling podcast, but hashtag UFL Jeff sucks. All right. If you could send out a tweet saying hashtag UFL Jeff sucks, we're going to enter you in a contest and send you a shirt. How about that?
I love it.
How about that? Someone's going to get a brand new fucking shirt just because Jeff sucks. All right.
And he does suck.
All right. All right. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And we will be back to react on Monday. So let's go. Until next time, folks, this is the UFL Gambling Podcast. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot.